It's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I have no idea if there's news coming out, but right here at top of the hour, psychosis. We're dead in the water. We've been drifting up for non-stop 5-hour drift. So on the 1 period moving average, we've been just creeping up. So we had a big blast this morning and then a drift. Blast and drift. If you want to make your money quick and dirty, you get out here and you just get the fuck out. Because it could come flying back. It could totally come flying back to here. We've seen it a million times. We could pause, go sideways, never see your extended profits. And it's quite a creeper gear drift here. So I put in the mega death buy and sell limits. I've been scalping it up and down. Still waiting for this. We hit 113, bang on the bell. Sting, right? Backed off. Can you imagine? Sellers came in there. Unfucking believable. 113 right up here. Stupid ass trade. You're up 12 pips on that trade right now. You were up more than 12 earlier. Right here's double bottom. So here's the stop hunt on the 5 minute. Just zoom in one level. Just have it fixed. I didn't fix the scale. So I have limits starting right here, but I was in earlier from limits that were right in this area here, and I cashed out here. I just got out because I saw it coming. Because I have so much exposure to possible fill here that there's money all over the place. And you can reload that script. Smash, retest, three times in the same zone. Right, same piece of land. You know, they've torn down 3 homes on that one piece of land. Scrapers, right? You know, the high end. Get a nice piece of property, and of course, I'd rather have the beat up home because then nobody's going to steal anything. You put a high end home on top of the cliff there. That scraper factor. So here I'm coming into more risk now. I'm glad to buy this down here. Now I have the option of scalping out. I have my fingers on the trigger. How much punishment can I take? I'm up $60 since my last video. So try to treat this like real money now. We got 60 grand in the account. Trying to make $1,000 a day. I've been making $500 a day, but $800 a day, but I haven't been trading every day. So I should be able to make $1,000 a day with 60 grand, right? Without blowing up the account. Looking to get a mega fill going here. Now this is just coming into a 10 pip range on the euro dollar. Spreads half a pip. Taking on 7K, just have it come down in. It's stupid. Now it could come smashing back. Don't forget this thing is in the nosebleeds. We just tagged 113. We just took out the high of the year. Okay. Now the stop hunt's going on the 15. And when I say stop hunt, I'm talking about people that are long that put in stops and people that are getting trapped on sells right now. Don't forget on the 15, you've got a perfect double top in time. Any robot worth its salt is selling there, right? Any human worth their salt. They don't wait for confirmation on that shit. Now, the people waiting for confirmation are getting trapped right now. And they might be right. But what if you sold without confirmation at the double top on the 15 and you had a wick, like had this big thing, right? All those orders from the other. Those played out. Fucking duh. So we're going to play the same story here on the buy side. We're going to crush down in. The density of my orders is going to be right below that wick. 8 hours I'm buying this. This is going to be such a here 12 pips to make 12. 20 pips to make 20 pips. This could be a vicious pullback. I'm already in 20. So I'm down $5 right now. I haven't got stopped out of anything. Always got your finger on the take profits key. Not the buy at the market key, the get the fuck out key. So that's what I'm always running. When I think about these markets, I think I just want to get the fuck out. Take my money and run. I'm not trying to get married to these positions, even though some of these swing trades in hindsight look like fucking, geez, I should have just bet the ranch on that. I mean, 10 pips to make 90 pips? Holy shit. Yeah, those trades come up once a week, once a month, you know. So yeah, you saw that this morning. Now the opposite's taking place. People that sold at 113 are like, yeah, I know. They're up 20 pips. If they sold in a basket at the very tippy top here, that's the trick. Get your order density here just right. By here, you're out of the whole fucking trade with 3 pip stops on a bank, though. Not on one ticket. Think banks. Think scalp banks. Right? Think the banks, right? Money in the bank. This is money in the bank. Especially we're hardly in. This is what Mark Douglas refers to money in the bank. You're not in. You're waiting to get filled. Okay, now I'm taking a risk here. I could start getting stopped out now. So when you make a big win, when the market gets heated up, time to think about cashing out whatever you're in, step back. Now assess it from limit strategy. If you just got out of a market order, in fact, if you sold this double top at the market, nailed it, you know in 5 minutes that they're going to update this 15-minute chart, and you better. And the people that have already defined their profit to be this wick are about to cash out. They see that's the stop hunt for the bulls in this uptrend. We're in a major uptrend. We're going to buy those stops off people in the form of limits. And we're not stopped out of anything now. We're in 35K. Let this thing come back. Let's scalp this. I'm underwater on these top tickets. I don't know if I'll ever see that. If we never take out the high of the day, I'm fucked on these top tickets. You can see this. I have no profit showing. This is just, I'm underwater, which means this has to hold. We have to take out the high of the day now for these guys to be winners. Otherwise, we get stopped out of those and start taking on more risk and even buy deeper for the next 25 pips I'm committed to buy. If that doesn't happen, and it comes back up to this level, I have the option at this point of deciding if I'm going to go pure scalp. Pure scalp is getting the hell out here. So I got to, you got to think, you're thinking of your exit. If you bought this has got to be your exit for a scalper's exit. Because this could be it. But if it's really fierce, it'll come here, dilly-dally, and blow out the top. So we're barely in the market, kind of on the long side, 35K. We're down $4, $4.91. So you try to keep your losses about $20. Then maybe it stops out, goes flat. You pick up another staggering 75K now. So you have baskets and bins of orders. These are the order bins I was talking about on the Wolfram thing. These are, I'm not going to look, I can look at the tickets, but I know that I can see the bin. I can see the diversification of entry price, especially if I stretch this out. I'm going to see the total bandwidth here, and I haven't even gotten filled on these. So this was they never stop hunted this guy. What they did was they filled the vacuum here. We filled this vacuum. That was my limit entry. Trailing limits instead of trailing money management stops. Once it gets to here, I have the option of taking how much ever money's there or just get out. This is another thing. Are you getting out because you're up X amount of dollars, or are you getting out because your system says when you get to here, you have to, if you're a scalper, you have to get out, regardless of how big you bought down there? Or are you going to hold through it till it gets to the high of the day? Now, we'll see how much money we make. I think maybe $8 to here. Once we get to this strict floor here, maybe $8. So, if we're lucky, $8, right? By the time we get to that. I just kind of guess. It's not a lot of money for being using $35,000 of margin, but I mean of real currency. But hey, what the fuck, right? So if we let that go till the end of the day, you know, that could be like a $35 winner, right? You'd figure. This is the 10-yard line up here. So this is a 113 even. This is 10 pips below. So even this breakout trader made money. Think about the guy that put in a breakout strategy right here. Buy stop, sell stop. Maybe he got trapped here. But he made this if he got the fuck out. And he could come in with sell limits up here so you could trade both sides towards the middle. You can corner the market. The only thing you can corner the market in is trading, where you can put on a hedge. So we had these outlandish orders sitting down here for 8 hours. And we could just go away. We could walk away from this thing because there's enough money in the account that, yeah, we might lose $20, but we have a possibility of making $40 or $20. Better than lottery tickets all day long. We were say we're rationalize this trade, you know, that we're waiting for 1 minute for the 15-minute chart to update, but we're buying on the pullback on the 15. We would normally be buying at the market here, but we're going to take a little bit more clever approach and buy the vacuum. This way, you don't have to be around for it. You can see it coming on the 4-hour. You can see it coming on the daily. You put in plunge orders. Right now, you have to size those accordingly. If you're going to trade the guppy, it's going to have to buy a 300 pip plunge. Very wide spacing, very small. You'd have to lay 1Ks in, 50K spread over maybe 100 pip swing trade. So you build a swing trade before the market gets there. You have all your exits different prices. Can't just take one solid thing. Ideally, you're scaling out every ticket. 100K, each ticket has its own unique exit and stop. Some get stopped out. You have a spectrum of ratio. You have a double your money and a worse than your money, and they're both in the same thing. So in the end, the total risk on that script is break even. It's better to have break even on the whole script, have a break even ratio, and have uneven staggered stuff in there where it's going to just, hey, I'm just trying to make 8 pips, right? Just trying to make 16 pips with a 25 pip stop, because that's going to happen. The other shit is dreamland, that every ticket's going to have a 10 pip stop inside that bank, and you're willing to crush that whole bank. I don't think so. I don't want to put, like, I want there to be a buffer of X. So there's a bin. There's more than one ticket. At least there's at least 2 tickets, for God's sake, right? You're out trading the guy that trades 1 ticket. You put one in right now with a wide stop just so you get in so you don't have an anxiety attack. And the other one you can place deeper. And then you put another one, you put 3 orders in deep. If that's advanced trading, then we got a problem. I mean, I know apparently this is like when you get really into the course, like, okay, well you have to get like, you have to like scale in and out of these things, you know. Like, that should be the first thing you do. Who doesn't scale in and out of a fucking car they're driving? You don't just put it to the metal. Who drives a car and just puts it to the metal? Why do you think there's a gearbox on the car? I don't get it. Why isn't trading taught in a scaled entry anyways? Does it matter if you're down $5 compared to about $5 grand? I just saw another Akil Stokes video today about risk. What he doesn't understand is it's about dollar risk. It's not about how many pips you've made. You could make 40 pips all day long and be making $4 grand a day. Okay? Doesn't matter. It's putting in a bunch of orders because you're not sure. Admit you don't know. Admit chaos exists. Embrace uncertainty. You're like, yeah, you know. Typically, this is what happens. Okay, put in a spectrum of orders at a price area, because that's what the big boys do. They don't trade one price. They're not going to step in and pull the trigger on one price and chase and just explode. They're going to come in. Besides, it's not one big boy. There's a bunch of big boys. There's just people trading, for God's sakes. We're all looking at the same fucking chart. Is the euro going to keep going up now, or is it done? If it's done, I want to buy the plunge. I could put sell stops in right now. So the question is, when do you put on a hedge? Well, right now. See, it's dead. Or you tighten up your stops. The ATR that we're on right now, the 15-minute ATR, we just updated this Smashdown. So you have to go to the 5-minute ATR and say, do you have a trade plan for this small bar? You should have a trade plan for each bar. Honestly. At the end of 15 minutes, you know the trade you should be in. You should know the trade you should be in, or where you should have your orders placed for a breakout, for a stop entry. If you trade stops, like they say, if you have a stop, everything looks like a hammer. So if you put a buy stop here, and this is you don't want to risk that much, so you wait for this candle, this bar. Buy stop, sell stop, walk away. Maybe it is going up. Maybe you have a buy stop still pending here, and maybe you're going to buy at the market because the last 15 minutes it was down. So your buy limits start at new lows, and you buy every 15 minutes it's down. Swear to God. Right? Stupid, right? And that's all I can think of, because what else is there? Big bar like this, there's no trade. We're waiting to get filled here. When you see this bar, unless you sold the new highs, right? You have to think backwards. You're not chasing. You're selling new highs on limits to come back to buy new lows to sell new highs. Back in yin and yang trading. Okay, so we're up $2, and we're at the end of this 5 minutes. We could buy. I'm sorry, this is a 5-minute chart. So you had to nail this one. You had to be there, but on the half hour, you didn't have to be here to sell at 113 today. I think everybody knew 113 would be a good sell for at least 10 pips, and you made 20. So without regard to Fibonacci or bat wings, at 13, you made 10 pips, and you held through it. You made this if you got out on this and you sub, but you could have pre-programmed all that, walked away like a fucking goof and say, what's your trade today? Oh, I'm just going to sell high and buy it back a little bit lower. Hopefully I get a good ratio. Oh, really? You're not going to watch the news, and you're not going to look at the commitment of traders, and you're not going to put up a Gartley? I'm like, no, I don't know. I guess we could do that later while we get drunk. We put a dragon on our screen, right? It's not going to make a difference. Trading is just price. And if you had a buy stop bot, a trend bot that bought here in pullbacks, you can see at the 10-yard line with a 5 pip to 10 pip stop, you could make your 10 pips all day long. You trade break even 10 pips all day long. On limits, stops, at the market, as long as you have that, right? Somebody asked me, what's a simple trade plan? How about have a market order that has 8 pip stop, have a pending with a pending with a 10 pip stop, and just work with those two. You trade around what you have. You can see on the chart where the market could go. It could go up or down, and you're like, well, if it comes down here, would I place? I mean, how hard can it be, right? You just come over here to your order bank. You can see total risk here. 20 pips to make 20 pips start. Put it right on this wick, and just there's enough money in the account now. Okay, so I'm down by $10 now. My sell stops on the 5-minute, I would be short on a bracketed exit there. So they trap me on this, but I'm making money on that. But I'm actually want to buy this pullback. Hopefully they're not going to stop me out. Hopefully I'll just take a drawdown here. They're going to fill me on all these. We're falling through the floor here now. And I'm buying all the way. Like I said, this is the buyer's remorse coming all the way back. Backfill. For the scalp, really. Okay, so now I'm in 40K. Still no stop outs. I have 20 pip stops though. See, and we've dropped 8 pips. The floor, my scalper's floor is still my target. Unhit. This is where we have enough dry powder to get into a standard lot here at some point as we come back. Down $15. I don't want to get stopped out of what I'm in because I want this. I want to go for a 20 pip drawdown to make. $20 drawdown to make $20. At least $20, right? You're in your pajamas. You need to make $20. Buying this pullback, basically. I don't want to chase. I will put in all my orders like Cloud 9. Cloud 9. Okay, so they just stopped out this guy on the 30-minute. They're taking his wick out. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, so, well, I was long, and what I did was, instead of getting out at 113, I put a trailing stop in. I can't lose. Okay, you just lost 20 pips. See, I never believed in that. So I'll buy your stop off, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, we're only down $12 now. Now, I would buy at the market if I wasn't in big enough now. So while it's sitting below here, I'd buy a little bit at the market, anticipating this 30-minute at the bottom of the hour. We'll be closing the 30-minute, and we'll just lock something in there. 15 is down, so we're long on limits into this void, and we're going to buy at the market just a little bit. You're not going to buy a lot at the market. Very little at the market. Maybe 20% of the market orders. If you could do 60% limits, 20% market orders, and maybe 20% stops. These limit orders are just, they're gold. You just walk away. You predefined, let it go. If you think it's in an uptrend and you don't think they're going to rip it back, then you've never seen the market trade. It's completely fucking nuts. We're underwater. And we have pending sells above. Don't forget, I'm going to sell up here again. So, and as the market starts to simmer down, though, we're not going to make as much. We're not going to get these wild spikes to fill on anymore. That's going to evaporate. Those opportunities will just drift away because the market's just going to simmer down dead. By the time we get to and this is only Tuesday, so we still have more psychosis to come here. It's only Tuesday. So definitely could be going above 113 here. We will scalp into the for the next 8 hours. We have sell limits up there, and we're long now. If we don't take this as a scalp and exit at the floor here on this valley, then we would just ride this into the limits above and make it a trend into a swing, trend into a retest of the highs, and let that go. And just don't touch the account. Don't try to trade another currency and get this thing dialed in. Figure out how many pips you want to risk, and it's worse than break even on these tickets. Most of these tickets I put in here is risk 20 to make 10. There is a couple risk 20 to make 20. And if I was going to risk 20 to make 40, I'm going to put it down here, right here, because I'm anticipating the market's going to touch here and then do a one of these empowered trading trades, right? You're going to get in here and then you're going to ride it back 40 pips. But I'm not going to wait that long. I'd rather trade the micro bounces on the way there, or you just get short here. Sell here now. If you think this is the place to get in down here, sell here now. So you can get really crazy here. I could put in, now this is 15 pip stop to make 30 pips. Maybe here, right? I mean, it's like, where are you going to put that? More likely that you're going to risk 20 to make 10. So if I put one ticket in here, one at a time, it looks like this. Comes to here. You're daring the market to come to your ticket. Here, this is risk 12 to make 18. That's not asking too much. I place it right here. So now you have this huge, dense, $1 million of tickets down here, all one case. No limit on this broker either. So far as I can find, this Uniglobe, no limit. Just watch out. At the end of the session, the spreads will go, you have to go totally flat, or you've cashed out of your winners by the time you get to 5 p.m. here. Eastern Standard Time, because now I'm taking on more risk. I'm down 20. Down $20. So this is where it gets kind of like, you know what, $20, that's kind of like almost like a good bottle of wine. So maybe $30. It comes in a little deeper here, and I'm taking on more. I don't want to get stopped out because I'm just too stubborn. So I want to maintain my balance at 61.39 and let this thing just come back. Another 1 minute on the clock. Bottom of the hour. Here comes the half hour, traders. I'll try to board the train here. I'm going to do another risk 20 to make 10. Little icebergs here. Here, risk 12 to make 18 down here. Okay, now let this go. We're down 16 now, so we're white knuckling it here. If this isn't enough margin here, I might buy one at the market at the bottom of the hour. I have a 10K button I can press. So I'll just get in 4 tickets adding up to 10K, 1, 2, 3, 4 sized. Okay, I guess I'm over anticipating, just buy it now. It looks to me like that's about it. So I'll take my one trigger pull early on that. Looks to me like we're trapped below the 15-minute wick, and I want to get in right now before the bottom of the hour. Here's the half-hour trader's view, and if their limit's sitting right on that close, they're in right now on a limit. Right, so this is the bottom. You place your order right at the previous bottom. Okay, so now, do we scalp or do we ride it? That's the question. Go to the 15 was our initial. This is our scalp. We took on more tickets because we bought new lows. What do you think? $10 by the time we hit this floor? So would you take the $10 and run? That's the question. And you can always come back in with 1 pip deep and redo the whole trade, rebuild that whole plunge. So we bought one at the market, and the rest were limits, no stops. So we're up $2, maybe $10 by the time we get to the floor there, and who knows. Now, if it goes ripping up, it depends. You have to decide, are you a scalper or are you a swing trader? And if it comes to here and it smashes down and you're like, holy fuck, I guess I'm a scalper. Right? That's the moment of truth right there. 15-minute chart, close to close. That was double top. Sellers came in. Now we could go to the 5 and see that, okay, this is cues up with the top bottom. You figure sellers would come right in here on these wicks, and that would be, you would just be underwater slightly on the tickets you bought on that last vacuum. So it looks like we could blow out the top here. I don't see this. Maybe news is coming out at 11, maybe on crude oil or something. Let's see. 33 minutes ago, consumer confidence came out, and 11:15, the some Federal Open Market Committee thing. Then we have Yellen at 1 p.m. So there should be a lot of drama today. And I guess that's going to affect the dollar pairs, huh? So we could still get a bunch of smashing around here. Now, this is what we're living in. We can close all, when Yellen comes out, we can close all open and pendings. If you're worried about any of your pendings that you have out there, you just double click close all, go to the trade tab here, trades. Inside of here is close all and close all profit. We got time. we got time to trade before things get ridiculous. I guess in 45 minutes it's going to get ridiculous a little bit. That's where you could start smashing into new highs. But I'm going to play this thing out. I'm not going to delete any of the tickets in here. I'm just going to trade around the positions. If we get filled on the top side like we did earlier, amazing scalp. In 5 minutes you made almost a guaranteed, if you laid a bank in there properly, killer, right? Killer. So this all hand place limits, and I did buy one at the market, so I only one hot key execution on this whole thing. Now we're waiting for this thing to drift back up. It doesn't look like it's going to be a quick and dirty spike, or it's going to drift down. And I could see if I think it is going to smash down. If I zoom out on the 5, you're like, well, you know, that could definitely keep tanking. Then get out now, because you're up on these tickets. It's not where you want to be, but you're up on tickets. So right now you're at equilibrium, break even. You're right in the middle. When the market's going sideways, anybody that's in a position has to make a decision at some point. That's why the market goes sideways. It would go sideways too long. Just because of the psychology of that. Like even right now, it's like, uh-oh, what's going on? And if it gets really tight, that's where the big moves come out of. So the cause for the effect is, here is a 10-minute cause. Look at the effect. I mean, if you get the ratio right on that button, right on that ticket. I'm swing trading it. So I would have had it cashed out already. But if you can see that where you were compared to where you are, now if it gets quiet, maybe you stay in because you're like, uh-oh, the jury's out. When we go sideways in a small range, the jury's out, the jury's in. Right? The jury's out here sideways, the classic backlash, new low. You want to buy that new low, either hand placed or hit a button. And you could be putting in, you can put single drops in there like 100K each drop. You know, I'd be down like $50 now. You'd be down $5,000 right now. There's no limit to how much you can put on one of these tickets, but I would try to make it as high res as you can. The more density, the more punishment you can take. So we want to have like a net. We want a net, or like fishing, but with a net. Instead of fly fishing, which I guess would be trading one ticket, you're fly fishing, but we're going to net fish because we're pigs. And we can't sit there and get all finesse about a river runs through it. The guy's fly fishing. I'm like, can I take a nap? This is like watching golf. I think it put me in a coma. You ever go to some movies and you're like, this is good. If you were running low on coma, you would watch this movie. The anti-coffee movie. And that's stuff you put on so if you're having insomniac, you just put on like a golf game. Fuck, you're drooling on your pillow. And like how long, right? Okay, so we're waiting for this. And here's the classic wedge triangle forming. Go figure, right? And is this trend going to stay in place? Is this the new channel? Hey, now you can dick around. Because trading's so boring, you can dumb shit like this. I'm a channel trader, man. But this is what a channel trader's thinking, is that this is a bottom, just became a top, he's selling, we're going down lower. But I already bought down there once. So here's where, if I'm going to stay in this much margin and let it play out, I'm only down $10 now. And this is where you have to figure, well, I told myself I'd only use $100 a margin. That would be, I guess, the discipline part of it. And if I would only trade certain ratios, right, all this stuff. And, of course, then it just becomes ratios and margin usage. Then you can analyze, I guess you could do this stupid channel shit, but, hey, you got buy limits down there. You already told yourself, all channels aside, I know I want to buy down here. All other analyzing aside, I mean, certainly I'll be buying more if it comes down here. And that market order has a tight stop, and I know, or do I buy right now? This looks like a good buy at the market right here. See, anytime we're holding below here, I'm like, it's still on sale, but we could go spiking down at any moment. We could just go ripping down. So I kind of have to figure, where do you figure you sit tight? I say let the market come to you and assume every market order that you place sucks. Every time you buy at the market, you're just you're guessing. Whereas if you place a limit, you're saying, no, I will buy beyond this point. It's a very logical entry. Here you could say, I got a feeling that this is about how far it's going to go down, and you can do that, but I would combine it with limits. By, like I said, 20% dedicated to market orders, because those are usually not the best tickets. And maybe that's going to be designed to be a scalp. Maybe it's a power scalp button. And you scalp, and you're out. Okay, so, but those limits, man, there's nothing better. The best trading I did with the news was I was trading with hotkeys, but I had those limit grids in the other hand, and I literally buy and sell at the market. Got my limits on deck here, ready to drop. I could put this out in front of the market. Psychotic depth. Right, psychotic depth. Let's see if we get to $10 here. Coming back into the floor on the 15. This whole trade was based on the 15-minute chart. We bought the plunge. We bought the half hour at the market. We got in on limits. We'll be above water when we come to our target. I'm thinking $13. We could get the hell out, take the 13 and roll, or wait for the rest of the day to play out. And maybe this is the last pullback we're going to see before we go past 113. Start cutting into all those limits tonight, and trade coming back the other way. So we're up $13 here. We'll probably be up 15 as we come into the floor. The one thing to consider, though, regardless of how much money you make, is that the count will go flat, guaranteed, if we cut just above the floor here on the 15-minute. Gives your finger on the trigger, ready to bail, right around that number, and have another ticket ready to drop a half a pip deep and rebuild the whole thing in a 8-pip pullback. See, it's pulling back right now. So there was 13 there. Could have taken it and ran. This is another reason why you trade one chart. You get a tick chart, you got this currency, you're trading the fuck out of it. If you're trading gold, right, you're sitting there, you're just trading it. I'm now looking at gold going, when it gets to 114, okay, duh. When it gets to 114, everybody's getting the fuck out and buying a new car. I like these gold bugs. I'm like, dude, it's not a Porsche. It's not something you can drive. Bricks of gold to me are just ridiculous. I'd rather have just a vault of hookers, Okay, so we're waiting for a breakout of the 15-minute bar now. But we're not going to be that breakout trader that puts the buy stop there. We're in already, waiting for that to break, see what happens, and that's actually our exit door. So as these guys are getting filled on that breakout, the scalpers will be getting the hell out. Anybody that bought this by the vacuum theory will be exiting. That'll be their targets. Very shallow targets. We're not looking to go to 113 here. This is the scalper's view. The trend trader's view is they don't care. They're getting in here to take out the high of the day. Their view of the market is we're getting into it. Those two views exist, and those two profit regions exist. You could have a scalping account, you could have a swing account. You could trade so much on one currency, right? It's like you have one guitar, and you play 40 songs on it. Okay, we're up $20, $22 into the floor. Okay, we're going to let it go. I'm going to scalp out right when we get to about $25. I guess I'm not going to see it. I'm scalping out right now. Okay, it's taking a long time to get out, so that's another thing. See how long it's taking to get out a single case? Okay, it's totally out. $89. Okay. Now, let's go buy again, right? If it's really going up, then it's going to come back. Now getting super aggressive right underneath the market like this. Right. Oh, maybe it's not coming back. So there you go. Oh, well. Live and learn. So, but what I was saying is that's the scalper's exit. I'm not swing trading it. I mean, I'm not trend trading it. Scalpers are getting out now. If we want to trend trade it, we come in like this. Because what's it going to matter, right? If it's going up, they're going to come back and ram you. So I'm always scalping, I guess. Right? Because I know if I can get in right here, a half a pip deep, what's the difference? Now I can set my targets. Oh, I want to make 20 pips, want to buy here. If we're really going to take out the high of the day, then we could possibly come back. Okay, I just got filled on, so I went totally flat, and now I'm getting filled here again. So that's the boring truth of trading right there. That's the boring. Now, the trend traders are still holding. They don't care about that scalp. And they might add on pullbacks here. Another option was to hold and add on pullbacks here. Okay, looks like they're just going to take it through the roof now. Take it. They're just going to take it up. Okay, so here we go. Possible smash up into my psychotic. I'm only in a 2K. And they just pulled back and filled me. So look at the 1 minute chart and see they just came back and filled me. And look at my exposure to going long here. It's about a 20K to go long again, all over again. So it's a revolving door. It's a revolving door. The 15-minute floor has been rejected. About to take out this double top. And then it's, I mean, this guy hasn't even come, the Yellen is coming out in an hour and 10 minutes to babble. You can only imagine what's going to be going on there. Based on where we're at price right now, you could see the dollar go through the floor. I mean, people are just, it's not what she says, it's the fact that she's talking. And really, they've just raised interest rates twice here. And the dollar's going to shit. So what does that mean? They're going to raise it again? And the dollar go to shit again. So it's not, they're not connected. I just watched this Greg Manarino fucknut. He's talking about fundamentals. He's like, the market doesn't make sense. These are fake prices. I just bought some fake this and that. Like, dude, fundamentals never, you can't lay fundamentals on top of price. They never make sense. That's why they came up with that phrase, buy the rumor, sell the fact. Duh. That's been going on forever. Looks like the euros, looks like we're just making a stampede here to the north now. So the trend traders would have been holding. They would have loaded the wagon in here and maybe scalped out of portions of that. I certainly did. I'm up 16 cents now because of it. Filled in a 2K. Micro pullbacks. Micro account, micro trading. Yeah, you can't make money trading all this, but you stack these orders up, man. You can get to $1 million position real quick. Just keep layering those tickets. Different layers, though. You got logarithmic ones. You got tight little nodes. And you could write a one-click for that. I didn't, but I'd rather drag and drop it and take a 10-pip grid like this and just say, oh, I'm going to buy down here. And I know that if I put this order down here, that it's going to cash out if it bounces off of that. And it could be a 40-pip. This is where you put a 40-pip winners down here, right? That lasts all week. If the market comes down here, you know you want to get in there and trade through the sweep. Sweep the leg, right? Sweep the leg. So that's the swing trade, is the Karate Kid trade. You put your orders in there and let them come and sweep your legs. That's you leg into a position. This position's got legs, it's got legs. So that's the wick, the legs. We're going to get in there. We're going to dump. It's a hump and dump for the scalp. We're not getting married. And this trend trade, I guess you can see the trend, but you know that there's going to be counter trend moves like this 113, obvious. But the people that are long on that, they got to start buying back now. And this is where they start taking out the stops from the bear bot stops have just been triggered here on this wick. And this one too. If they were running trailing stops, the robot went short and he ran a trailing money management, and then he just says, I'm not going to go for a target. I'm just going to go when the wind changes. He's going to take profits right here. So you can see what a robot would be thinking right now. A turtle trader would be long because the last few bars have been up. Man, it's going to buy strength, like that guy said. Some guy said, well, they buy strength. Yeah, okay. That's great, but how big are you buying strength? And are you chasing if you buy strength like this? So I'm up 20 cents, killing it. All right, it's very tame now, but it's going to get crazy. If we start cutting north, now you could buy at the market now. Right now, you could justify it by saying it's breaking out, but I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to buy. So I have so many cells above me. I'm counting in my money coming from the cells above me, and I'm up 50 cents. So look at that. I'm up 50 cents. So it definitely matters. All the money matters. Okay, 28 cents. Look at that. Price of coffee's gone up. So you can make $2 on this trade, actually. I'm not going to delete any of my cells up there because I think it's going to be a rocky road. Most of my stuff's going to start here, which is the new high of the year. It's making new highs for the year, and it just keeps cutting up in here. So these are money in the bank trades up here. If I see a missing spot, right, these could be 12-hour orders up here. All the way up. Just huge amounts of inventory, ready for any customer. Any sellers, I'm a willing seller all the way to Memphis. I don't trade one ticket. I can trade one price. I could have actually duplicated some here. I can't tell, but just tons of low-risk stuff. Hard to blow up the account now. Try to make another $100 maybe on the top side. I feel like getting out of my 16-cent win here. Because look, I'm going to come smashing back now. So I'll just add to this position now. Automatically add. Just by having my orders 4 pips deep. It's how big you get in here. It's not whether you get in, it's how big you get in. It's how you get in too, because I'm in a 2K. I mean, it's sloshing around now. It's got to go down before it goes up, and it's got to go up before it goes down. So the market can't see time, and it can't see your orders, and it can't see moving averages. The market's just responding to orders coming in. So if it triggers these balls, I'll also be getting in on my way to the round number, which is the 10 pip yard line. I also have a top bottom setup right here. So the trade plan's in. I'm waiting for the market to come to me. I just picked up one more K. So just come back and just, it comes in there like a bird. It just takes a little piece of food out of all these orders. Ungodly. So I'm at 80. I'm at 3K. Let's come back to this thing. Here comes the psycho window. 11 o'clock. So we got this guy coming at 11:15. Who is this guy? Harker Speaks. I mean, you know, this. I looked at the history yesterday of the news, and the Draghi guy didn't. Oh, we just picked up another K. Look at that on pullbacks. So we just got in another. We're in a 4K. It just came back. Look at the 1 minute chart. It came back and it picked up one more ticket. And this Draghi guy spoke like late. You know, he came in late. And I wasn't watching them. Who's watching these speeches? A guy really sitting in front of his monitor with his finger on the button. So we're running out of gas here. I'm barely in now. I'm glad I scalped out of that 50K. So I'm just in a 50 cent. Again, another 50 cent trade. But hey, you know, we got like $3 here. Come into this big order bank, really pile on the risk. You know, we come up into that. We could be there easily in 20 minutes when this guy comes out and speaks. I don't know how on time this guy is. And is it a real guy? Or is it like that episode of Mission Impossible where they had this dummy guy talking? You know, pre-taped. Gee, he looks kind of like... He looks bored. He looks very stiff. Up 17 cents on 4K. Riding the storm out here. Zario Speedwagon trade. Right, 25. Look at that, 25 cents. You'll never make money just trading for pennies. Never make money trading for pennies. Right. But by the same token, being up 29 cents, I can be down 29 cents. But then I can be down $20, looking to make 80 or be down 200. Some big giant plunge, and all these orders are laid in there, and you're down $1,000. You know you're gonna make $4,000, but you're in a drawdown of 1,000. You're not getting stopped out. You didn't lose, technically lose $1,000. You're taking on that risk. Maybe you're getting kicked out. I don't have a master stop on there, so what would happen is the market crushes in and really starts to fill you. It's going to crush out. I'm seeing a sell-off on my other broker here. This broker's not up. He's not aware of it yet. So here, a big sell-off now. So we just picked up 10K. See how that works out? We didn't have to touch the buttons. We're just sitting here waiting for a pullback. And, see, we're only down 55 cents now. So we're letting the market thread the needle for us. Now we got enough. We got a 10K going north here. I don't feel so bad about those sell limits up there now. And this is just the only way I can trade now, because I just can't. I don't want to sit there and decide, well, how big am I going to trade right now on this one stupid ticket? It's so stupid. The market is so dumb. I could scalp out right now, take my $3 and run. I'm above water on every ticket. I'm in a winning position because I got in on limits. I bought low. The only way to buy low is on limits. If you've been told to buy low and sell high, who does it? People buy because they think it's low. But is it really low? How about 50 pips deep? Maybe that's where the market's going. Maybe you got a limit grid in there for a scalp strategy that's going to make $1 million. You just lay the orders in. It's stupid. Okay, I'm long into this thing. If I would have added on pullbacks, though, to my trend trade, I would have got in on that pullback. So how much did the market really pull back here? Well, it really didn't. It only stopped hunting the 5-minute traders. See? Fake breakout. We buy new lows. We bought all those new lows on the 5-minute. So we can trade both trade plans. We can see who's getting out when and where. We know where their exit doors are. It's obvious. Everybody knows where they have to get, where they're getting out, and they know where there's liquidity. That's what was cracking me up about that ICT fucknut. It's like, above here, there's really? Duh? Think so? Who's got the balls to put sell limits up there? That's the question. Who's got the balls to put orders up there? Well, you don't need any balls if you already predefined the risk. This is the whole Mark Douglas approach. So I'm taking Mark Douglas and putting in the scripts. You know, I don't believe in Fibonacci. I believe in risk management. And risk management is risk diversification. Why would you trade? People go, diversify your money, right? You got stocks, bonds. No, how about diversification of price entry on one instrument? I mean, sure, you could do this across all sectors. Yeah, you would just have limit orders sitting at really good stocks. You got a buy limit pending on Apple at $10 forever, right? You just place. I want to take a stock trader. I don't know how they don't fill very often though. Tell them just, hey, you know what? Just you like that stock? Dollar cost averaging. Oh, dollar cost averaging martingale doesn't work. Oh, right. Okay, buddy. Okay, sure. Martingale doesn't work. This guy that commented on my video, I've seen this garbage before. You shouldn't be telling people how to trade. Oh, okay. So you're gonna, let me guess, you got like a crystal ball and then you just like pull a trigger. Okay, I got it. So I just don't, it's how you approach something. It's not whether you trade or not. So I could get out right now. I could go flat. Oh, underwater now again. But that's the thing. If you don't mind, it's just going in and out of the market. If you don't mind executing, then trading is very effortless. But if you got your heart and soul in the one setup, in one pattern, this is it, man. Are you going to go scanning every time frame on 40 currencies, or are you going to just trade the shit out of one instrument at a time? Like, you just don't. It's the old story, jack of all trades, master of nothing. So you can trade. If this was crude oil, I'd trade it, right? If I could get leverage on it. You can't get the same leverage on commodities, though. Brokers will tell you, I got to do 50 to 1 on this one instrument. So this way, I can relax. I like to scalp, get out, take the money and run, and have some swing trades in there. It's kind of high risk trade here on this, putting all these sell limits up in the nosebleed. Who knows what's going to happen? And if it comes up there and smashes through, I'm curious. I want to see what happens. I'm certainly not going to want to go up. When it goes up there, I'm not going to think, well, it is up here, and I'm waiting for a hammer and a sickle, and I don't see that, so I didn't take the trade. Wow, really? That's sorry to hear that. Like, I got up to 113, and I just didn't see an engulfing pattern. Well, yeah, it's not even. It's an inverted hammer. On the 1 minute chart, maybe, right? So if you went to the 1 minute chart, do you see an engulfing pattern here? You have to zoom out. No, double hammers up here. 2 inverted hammers. No, didn't. I could have put my sell stop at the bottom of that inverted hammer, but I thought at that point, actually, this is the shoulder on the 1 minute. If you babysat this, you'd be like, okay, we got a confirmed tag at my price. I see a rally on the 1 minute, sell. And that's your entry. But you'd have to do the same thing here. Swing trade, sell, sell. Yeah. Head and shoulders, right? Head, shoulders, 1 minute. You got to buy right here. But wouldn't you just put limits in there? You're really going to sit there like a crack whore and just keep, I have to be there. Yeah, I got to buy. I'm a sniper. Okay, great, you're a sniper. Buy one at the market, but for God's sakes, you're going to buy down here anyways. You can buy anything below here you're going to buy. And now you're up in the trade. Okay, so I'm in a 10K. I think they're taking it back a little bit. So I'll be underwater a little bit here. I'm only up, $1.55. Should I get out? 1 minute chart. Double bottom. We're up like 3 pips. We got into that wick. Pure genius entry, right? Just trailing them buy limits. Very tight range. With your finger on the trigger, always ready to bail if things get ugly. And if it gets really goes and you really big up on the trade and it hasn't hit your take profits, you might want to think about taking that chunk out of the market because it's crazy. Now, this is 5 minutes after the top of the hour. Here comes the 5-minute traders. They're looking at that going, you know what? Got a hammer here. That's all right, bullish hammer. Because we got a wick. This is the fist. It's more like a fist than a hammer. But if you scrunch out too far, you're going to lose the forest for the trees. And it's about as tight as you want to go. Double bottom here on the 5-minute. Low risk entry. It's holding the 10-yard line. This is the next target for pure prices here. And we could still smash back. At any moment, we can smash down and even get a better deal and add on to our position. We're up $1. We're up $2 now. 10K. Looks like we go up here. News is coming out, or somebody's going to supposedly speak in 10 minutes. And looking for that spike up. Buy just a little bit more at the market. And we'll sit tight. So I'm going to get some new demos here. I'm buying at the market. This trade-wise looks pretty good, actually, except I haven't watched them during the 5 p.m. shutdown. These floating spread brokers will rip your balls off at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be very careful there. You don't want to walk away ballless. It's like Joyride 3. You know, Joyride 2 is bad enough. All right. We're going to sit tight here, waiting for the news guy come out, and then Yellen's going to come out. She'll be yelling. Does she yell, though? I mean, and really, I don't watch this stuff because I can't understand what they're saying. And it really, you know, it's really about this euro just cutting north into Psychoville, just into insane prices here. I definitely think that be careful selling on the top here. Because now we're kind of like, we could be up 300 pips at the end of the week. It could just be up 100 pips in the next 15 minutes, and then we drift up. So I put 8-hour orders up there, but that may not be a good idea. So always think about time exposure, price over time. Like, price over time to me is how far the market can move in 8 hours. It's price over time. So if I have 4-hour tickets up there and I put them 100 pips above to sell, I'm thinking, you know what? That's quite a challenge. Asking the market to go up that in 4 hours, it's got to go up, and that might be a more aggressive order because it's like, man, if it could get there in 4 hours, it might get there in 40 seconds, but it's definitely hanging out there until the close of today. But at the end of today, if the euro keeps going up, at the end of today, it'll go sideways and get choppy. There'll be scalps available when you go to the next session, but we could just shear its head off right now. We could just go roaring up, and then tomorrow will be choppy. So we could make it to 114 today. So I have my hand on the profit button to scalp out of this this insanely dense order bank up here. Okay, let me go to the I'm gonna like, news is coming out 15. I'm up $3. 10K. So I'm up $10 on 10K. We're coming into the sell bank. News is coming out in 3 minutes. I want to actually get out right now. So I'm going to take my money and run because it's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous price. I'm going to buy on pullbacks right here at the retest of that guy there. And now I go for the, I want to make 20 pips and buy here with a 10 pip stop. Same thing right here. So I could definitely totally naked to the north side here. Counting on some kind of pullback that doesn't go deeper than 10 pips here. So these are the better ratios. Risk 12 to make 18. I'm going to put that on the wick. And right here in fair value, so you can get to 100K real quick like this. Doesn't take long. Here is putting in my order's a retest of the doji. So whatever this news is, or this person's going to talk or something, right? What the fuck is it? Yeah, somebody's supposed to talk. Who is that that's going to talk? Oh, this guy from the FOMC. I don't know what he's going to say. When he says hello, apparently that's going to trigger the market. I love how they have these news. 11:15. Look, if the guy's not going to be there on time, then who are these people? Really, what he says is going to move the market? I don't think so. See, I got out because this is the trap. Right there. Sellers come in. That's my exit door. No fill in that pullback, though. I guess he's going to say something. Look at the market. He's a very important person. He's a VIP. When I was a kid, they said, well, you can sit in the VIP section. I'm like, well, that's, I'm going to have to think about that. What does that mean? Is that good or bad? Now they have these virtual servers, which starts with a V also, so I'm all confused now. That's a virtual private network there, son. So yeah, this guy, I don't know what he said, but whatever he did, he's making the market go up. Look at him. He's probably like clearing his throat right now. That's market's responding to that. He's about to say something very important about the, I think we're going to raise the interest rates a little bit there and help out the retired people that have their money parked in the bank. People that don't go out much. Okay, still waiting for that big rally. Okay, I guess Yellen's going to kick it over the top maybe. When she opens her beak, then we can kick that right over the top. Okay. I like you ever heard of these people build these algorithms that's supposedly it's cracking me up. It's designed to respond to the news. I'm like, huh? What is that? Some kind of fucking Get Smart fucking gizmo? What is that, like a shoe phone? Who the fuck's writing these algorithms? Well, when it says the word so-and-so, though, it's going to automatically... Or no, people explaining that that's how the market works, that people step in the market. There's algorithms that, respond to certain keywords in the news. Really, do they buy or sell? Well, that's an interesting question. Do they buy or sell? I don't know. Yeah, think about it. It's impossible. There's no fucking algorithm out there like, stalking you. Get pulled up, car breaks down the side of the road. Here comes the algorithm. All right, I'm about to get filled on the south side here, totally naked into this rally. Let's see what happens. Woof. Just got filled. So if that was a big ticket, I just take it off. There you go. So also, all these tickets sitting here, I can see that, it's a ferocious move. I'm going to take that. Otherwise, that's going to turn into a loss. I get my finger on the take profit key. As we come up, marching up into these prices, I can pluck them off with my take profit key. Let it fill my ticket. Let the market prove me right that that's a good place to sell up there. And if they take out the high of the day, I got a dense pack up there. I'll take on just a ton of risk up there. Comes into my risk bank. Let's try to make like $50 here or something. Oh, it just got filled. So now it's kind of dicey. We want to get in about, 7K. Looks like we're just going to go for it. Whatever this guy's saying, the markets just fell in love with this guy out in New York, or this guy's talking about the FOMCs. Maybe it's like, everybody's excited. Okay, I'm still in the 7K. No stop outs. Just picked up another one. 8K, no whammies. big dense pack of about 40K up there, I'd say, easy to the next round number. Got my finger on the take profit key in case we get a nice backlash, and then we can come in with buy limits and refresh the sell limit banks. Put the inventory back in place. When people buy stuff, we have to restock. When we sell stuff, okay, going after the high of the day here. And more new highs for the year at 113.10. Well, it's not happening. So here's where we are torn. Do we scalp out of this? We're up 66 cents. We're in 9K. I say if it pulls back 5K, I'll get out. Otherwise, I'm going to ride the storm out. Because we might pop up one more time and pick up a few more tickets. If I think it's really going up and it comes back here, another 4 pips to go flat, take my $3, let it pop up there because there's so much up there. Now, imagine these are bigger tickets than this. But the same psychology, I would do the same thing whether that was $1 million or you have to tell yourself it's about trading what the market's telling you. Now it looks like it's going up. So I'm going to get out of my winners. I'm going to go flat nearly. I just have one loser left behind. To me, it looks like we're still steaming north. So I'll grab those tickets off. And I'm trapped. Not really trapped, but I got involved in a 1K now. So I'm letting the market dictate how big I get in. Lay the traps, let it fill, and just sit there. And if you see money, you take it. Because I have buy limits sitting 10 pips deep now. I'm exposed to go long down here. Go flying back and then rip up. Imagine that. So it doesn't move in a straight line. And if this thing trounces back and I got a 20 pip stop on that sell limit, of course if I got a 10 pip take profit, as that sell limit comes down, you'll be getting into the buy limits. If you're always trading with the same, if you run say 8 pip wins with 12 pip stops all day, you're going to make money because if you know where to place those orders, because it's constantly rolling back over to the other thing. And as long as you don't overtrade it, you're always like I'm up 2 cents, right? So I'll take my 2 cents and go. Take my 6 cents and go flat right now. It doesn't matter because there's so much exposure above and below me in a 10 pip area. I made an even 1100, 6100. So I'm making even $100 now. $100 even on that. I think we're still going up. So that's why I wanted to get out of that sell kind of. And I want to see what happens when we get up here. Bottom of the hour is going to be critical. Stuff in Europe's closing and all that kind of stuff. People are squaring their accounts away. And who wants to hold a loss? This is where another thing that fuels the market is people that have to say, you know what, I'm wrong. I'm getting out. I'm going to buy back my euro. People that are trend trading are getting in. So it's a revolving door. I mean, it's not just one thing going on out there. The sells, people that say, you know what, this looks like I'm not on the right side of the market. I'm going to buy back. I think it could still keep going up, and it's cheaper to get out here than it is if it takes out the high of the day and it really starts to clobber me. So those people would be buying back. Meanwhile, the people that are saying, oh, I don't care, just looks good here, buy it here, Jed, just get in now. And then you got guys that are like, hey, buy limit sitting 10 to 15 pips deep, looking to pick up that last pullback before the last blow off top. And people that just got out here, they literally sold at the 10-yard line right there. So they're up on the trade right now. They're loving the 2 pips. They're up 2 pips. 2 or 3 pips. They're loving it. So we're just trading contrarian, and we're just on limits. You're kind of contrarian, but not really, because even to get into an uptrend, you got to buy on limits on the pullbacks. So you're not contrarian in the big trend, but you certainly are on that pullback. If you just stare down that channel, however long that channel lasts on the pullback, even a 1 minute channel. Yeah, I think we're going up. So we sit tight here in the long positions, waiting to get filled on the north side here. Going right up now, looks like. We just picked up a 5K here. I'm going to sit here with my finger on the take profit key. If we get a nice pullback here, I'm going to cash out. Take the money and run. Pulls back another 5 pips, I'll get out. But I'm already in. So I'm just working on the execution on this demo. One more pip. I'll just get out here. Like I said, I got so many tickets above me to get out. Let's go flat here. So I made $1.80. And now I could buy on the lofty 20 pip winners here. Risk 10 to make 20 on a 3K. Now there's a 6K. And we can stream those all the way back. So wait and get filled on that. And that's about all I can think of. So I'm sure Yellen's going to make this thing come unwrapped. We'll get filled on these other tickets later.